Heart, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm back, and I'm talking to you about the video is this? It's the Christmas song book tag, something like that. I think I got that right. Yep, I got that right. Okay, so let's just get into it. Number 1 is Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Name a character you couldn't help but love. So I'm going with, the book is right here if I can get it, Mikey from Skin Tracker Trilogy. I love him. He's amazing. I didn't like him at first because he was mean and he was technically a monster. Quite literally, actually, he was known as Everlost, one true monster. And then he met Allie and everything changed. Well, he still did change. Well, he did change, but he still had his personality, which was definitely different. But I can't help but love him. And I wouldn't want it any other way because he's amazing and he cares about Allie and he risked everything for her more than once. And it's just amazing, and I love him, and I love him and Allie, and he's so amazing, and he would do anything for her, and he even brought back Nick, who he didn't even really know much except the fact that he kidnapped him, and he kind of brought him back in a way. Even though he didn't have to, he could have went and found Allie by herself, because not like Nick was much of a help in the state he was at the time. But he knew how much Nick meant to Allie, and Allie finding out Nick died technically was upsetting to her, so he knew that when they did find her, that she would want to see her best friend again, because Nick sort of did become her best friend and she became his, so and it was just really sweet, and showed how far he had come from the person he once was, and it's amazing, and it shows how much he loves Allie and how much he would do for her, and he literally traced through all of Everlost for her, and it's just, I love him. And he even fought his own sister for her. I love him, and I can't help to love him. And he is definitely a Grinch, don't get me wrong. He is a Grinch, and he can be a jerk, and he can be mean and gruff and angry and short-tempered, but I love him, and I can't help it, and I don't want to help it because it's amazing, and I love him. Okay, next is All I Want for Christmas Is You. What do you want to find under your Christmas tree? So, there's several books off my TBR. Several. But let me think. But the one that I really want would be Secret. Not Secrets. I want all Secrets. See, that's what I mean. Secrets is always on my brain. Okay, Warriors. Because I'm finally starting to get a lot of the Warriors books. I already own the first 2 arcs. I owned for the first 12 super editions, and then my friend bought me the last super edition for my birthday. Then my sister bought me the 3rd arc for my birthday, and then I bought the 4th arc, which still hasn't come yet, but it should be here soon. So now I need the 5th arc, the 6th arc. I'm gonna wait for the 7th arc to come out before I start buying them, because I want to buy them as a whole. And then I also have to buy the mangas, which I probably will only read once, but at the same time, I have to read them like I had to read the Secrets ones. And then there's all the novellas, which those I think I might actually like and want to reread whenever I reread Warriors. So yeah, Warriors is definitely one that I want under my Christmas tree, but basically because I want them to give me the right ones I need, so I would have them go on my thrift books, and so first of all I'll get the points for it, and I can get a free book. And 2, to make sure I can put the books they need. That's what I did with my sister, okay? I want to make sure she got me the right Warriors book, because there's so many. So I put the 6 books in my cart, and it was all ready and set for her, so all she had to do was order it. So yeah. So yeah, because I want to make sure I have the right Warrior books. There's so many, and it's hard to keep track, and yeah. So next is number 3, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Name a character who goes through obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. So for this one, I went with, okay, this is the 2nd book, but it's the first one I saw, so I'm picking it up. Effigy's Trilogy. I'm going with Maya because she's definitely someone, and she was going through a lot when the book started, when the first book started. She was living with her uncle and all alone basically besides him, because her parents and twin sister just died in a house fire, and she survived. And she's depressed and sorrowful, and she she thinks June, her twin sister, is better than her. Like, June was the one that was popular with all the friends that everyone loved, and she was kind of the outsider, the misfit, the nerd, and so she always kind of thought that June. After stuff started happening with her, because find out she's the next effigy, her having to fulfill that lifestyle and stuff, she kept saying, June should be alive. This should be her destiny. She's the one that could handle it. I can handle this stress and all of this crap. So she definitely didn't have like any belief in herself at the beginning, but by the end, she believed in herself and she sacrificed herself to save the world, and she made the world a better place. And in the end, she proved that she was good enough, that she was chosen for a reason, that it was meant to be her all along. She kept saying, oh, the only reason why I was chosen, not June, is because June died. And, like, no. She was chosen. She finally had to learn that she was chosen because she was special enough to be chosen. And it's a lesson she had to learn by herself on her own. And she finally did. And, yeah, so she finally got her happiness towards the end. But she's a character that I love, and I don't talk nearly enough. I do talk about Victoria from the series a lot because she's a cinnamon roll and she is my favorite character, and I absolutely love her. Actually, her and Maya might be like neck and neck because I do love Maya too, and she's an amazing heroine for the story. And yeah, I definitely love her and want to talk about her more. I talk about her when I talk about her relationship with Aiden, but I need to talk about her more. So yeah. Number 4, Santa's coming to town. Who do you think will be at the top of the night list? Who do you think will be at the top of the night list? No one's ready for this conversation. So at the top of the night list, it was hard. Actually, I'm going to go with night list first. Night list is not hard. Let's be real. Anyone who knows me should know this by now. And it is Mary Hightower from the Skinjacker trilogy, because I hate her, and I've been going on this rant so long. Oh my gosh, so many times these last few days, I keep going on this same rant about how much I hate her and how awful she is, and oh my gosh, would be on the top of the naughty list. She would have us thinking 10-page letter about why she's on the top of the naughty list. That because she's just awful. She's horrid. I hate her so much. I'm not gonna go into that rant today though. I'm gonna stop myself. I'm gonna be a good girl and not go into a 10-minute rant about how much I hate her. So let's move it along before I do. Next is the nice list, right? This one was hard because there's like several characters that would definitely be high up on the nice list. If you saw my I made a list yesterday of characters that would definitely be on the naughty list and characters that would definitely be on the nice list, 2 different videos, and you should definitely check them out. So yeah, these characters, so there's several characters that would definitely be on the top of the nice list, but I went with Brink from Bewitched and Oz, because he's just such a sweetheart, he cares about others, he has a good heart, and he always thinks about others, and now what they can do for him, but about them, and he was always there for Ziri, even if she wasn't there for him quite yet, and he's such a sweetheart, and he's such a good character, one of the best I've ever read about, and I love him. So yeah, he would definitely be on the top of the nice list. You can't change my mind. Next is number 5, Frost of a Snowman. What book just melts your heart? You're not ready for this conversation. Seekers by Erin Hunter. Duh, if you know me at all, even a little bit, if you've been subscribed to me for a little while now, you should know my obsession with this series and with these characters and with this friendship, because this friendship is the best thing about the series and the characters. Like, I mean, yeah, there are ships. I mean, Kalik and Yukon, it shows their relationship a lot, like the last they meet in book 6, and then the next 6 books after that it shows their relationship, but it still wasn't the main part of the story. Tokolo has a love interest, but she wasn't on that much, and same with Lusa, her love interest wasn't on that much, but it mostly is about their friendship and the journey they take to find themselves and where they belong in the world. And it's a beautiful story about friendship and loyalty, and it's amazing, and I love it, and I love these characters, especially Khalik. She's my favorite. Yujak's my second favorite, and I'm not going to get into a rant about how they wronged him. Not this time, I promise you. I might not be able to keep that promise, but we'll see for now. And this series just melts my heart. It's such an underrated gem, and it makes me sad that it's like I really want its day to come where it's like the spotlight of book 2, and I'm never gonna stop talking about it. Not even when that happens, because I hope it happens. And even if that happens, I still won't stop talking about it because it's just too amazing to stop talking about for 5 minutes. I absolutely love this series. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be read. It needs to be loved. And it needs to be cherished. And it melts my heart. My secrets rant, yay. We'll see if that's the only one this video. That'll be a record. Country you do not live in. So, none of the books take place actually in my world. At least I don't think they do. In our world, like the world we currently live in. Let me see. I mean, Warriors and Secrets might, but I don't know where they live. Probably because they don't know. They don't care, if that makes any sense. So I went with one that goes in a different realm. So I went with Oz from Bewitched and Oz because that's where they are, obviously. They're also in Oz in the Stormmakers trilogy, but that's all the way over there, and that takes too long. This was right here, so I'm gonna go with this, and I like it more anyway. So, so yeah, they take place in Oz. Obviously, it's called Oz, and basically, this like way after the whole story of Dorothy, is basically a legend now. But magic has been outlawed, probably because everything happened during that time. But Ziri and her friends Tabitha and Vashti have magic, and Ziri and Vashti's mutual crush, because they both have crushes on the same boy, Ned's little brother Brink has magic too, so the four of them will sneak off and practice their magic because it's part of who they are and they don't want to just ignore it. But then when flying monkeys end up kidnapping Tabitha, so they end up having to go on a journey to save Tabitha and their magic, and to stop the villains, and to figure out a way to make magic legal again so that they don't lose that part of themselves, because it is a part of them, which is something Ziri stresses, which I love. And yeah, so you see there's flying monkeys, there's Glinda, there's Ozma, which is the princess of Oz. So yeah, Emerald Palace, everything. So yeah, this is definitely placed in Oz, and I love it, and I definitely recommend it. You should all give it a try. Number 7, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Which holiday themed book do you use to spread the holiday joy? So, I don't have a holiday themed book. I mean, not Christmassy at least. Most of the books I read, honestly, could be themed for Halloween, but not Christmas. I don't have a Christmassy book, and I don't want one. So, I don't really have one. Basically, I'll read whatever book I want to at the time. And whether it's a reread or a book I've never read, I don't care if it's Christmas themed or not, or if there's, like, Harry Potter, at least, I mean, they talk about Christmas because, like, I know in the first book there's Christmas in there. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that definitely has Christmas. But yeah, so we could always go with that, but that's the only one. There's no one book I have to read during this month. There's just not. I'm probably going to want to read Hocus Pocus and the All New Sweet sequel around October from now on. But honestly, any of these could be read around that time. So yeah. So I don't really have one for around this time of year, and I'm okay with that. I just read what I want to read when I want to read it. It's as simple as that. Whether it's a reread or a new book I've never read or what, I don't care. If I want to read it, I'll read it. Number 8, Sleigh Ride. Which character would you want to spend the holiday with? It doesn't have to be a love interest. So this question was hard because, like, there's so many characters. So many that I would love to spend time with. So many. So, I ended up going with my favorite female and my favorite male from the Harry Potter universe. Because they're pretty much equal in my eyes. You know, I love them both the same. One's my favorite female, one's my favorite male, but they're both my favorite characters, which are Ron and Ginny. I absolutely love them. They're my favorite characters, and I would love to spend the day with them. I think Ginny gets overshadowed a bit by Hermione, which makes me sad. I love Hermione. She's one of my top favorite characters. She is. But I like Ginny more. And it just makes me sad that Ginny doesn't get as much love as she deserves. Same with Ron, honestly. He's such a sweetheart. He is one of the most cinema-role characters ever, and I don't talk about that enough. And I really need to. I'm going to start to, because he is amazing. He deserves more love. Ron is such a sweetheart, and I love him. Yeah, I would definitely love to spend the day with the two of them. Maybe throw in Fred and George and make it a party, because why not? But yeah, I think it would be really nice to spend a day with the two of them. You know, we could have fun, you know, kind of have a relaxed evening, you know, not too hyped up. Like if Fred and George were really to come, then things would get hyped up. But just a nice, relaxing evening with the two of them, I would love. And yeah, so that sounds fun, and I would love to spend the evening with the two of them because they are the best Harry Potter characters ever. There are several Harry Potter characters I do love and would love to spend time with, though. Hermione, like I said, is one of my top favorite characters. Same with Neville and Luna and Lupin. And I also really like Tonks, and I like Hagrid and Dobby. They're not like top, but they're close enough. So yeah, any of those characters I would love to spend time with, but my number one choices would be Ron and Jenny, because they're everything. What's next? Number 9, Baby, It's Cold Outside. What book do you not like that you would sacrifice to a fire to keep yourself warm? Twilight. I can't stand Twilight, which if you know me, you would know that. I have serious Twilight issues for multiple reasons. The only thing that makes it the only thing that is not terrible in Twilight is Alice, because I kind of liked her. She's insane. And I like her relationship with Jasper. But everything else pretty much sucked, and I hated it, and it sucks. So I would definitely throw every copy of Twilight in the world in a bonfire to keep myself warm. So yeah. Next is number 10. Do you hear what I hear? What book do you think everyone should read? You're not ready for this conversation again. I got Secrets again, but it's a different book. It's the 6th book from the first arc. And 5th book from the first arc. And it's probably my favorite cover out of all of them, to be honest. I love the lights, and it also helps that Khalik is the main one on the front of this one. Like, they all take turns being the main one on the front, but still. And with all the lights and the coloring and the green is my favorite color after all. Dark green is at least. And how it kind of turns and to a different shade of green, and it's just really pretty, and it's probably my favorite cover of the Secrets universe. I mean, I never really paid attention much to covers, which I've explained until recently, so I'm going to have to double check all the covers of the Secrets, but this one might be my favorite, but we'll see. But do I need to explain why I want everyone to read it? It's such an underrated gem about a book about these 4 friends, Khalik, Udrak, Toko, and Lusa. And they are all so different. Khalik is a white bear, Lusa is a black bear, Toko is a brown bear, Udrak is technically a brown bear, but he can also shapeshift, so no one knows 100% sure if he was actually, especially since he doesn't really remember his past. It's kind of like having amnesia. No one really knows if he actually is a bear or if he's another creature transforming into a bear, but he likes to think he's a bear because he can't imagine being something else. Like, he wants to be a bear. That's who he is at his soul and heart, and everything else he can just turn into whenever he wants. But the problem with his shapeshifting is that if he stays in that form for too long, he starts to think that's who he is, and it takes a while for him to remember. But his friendship to these other three bears is actually what always gets him to come back when he does do that, because their friendship, their memories, is what keeps him from changing and staying changed. But the friendship between the four bears are the main thing in this series. It and also their journey in finding themselves and where they belong in the world. I mean, that's kind of what they're doing on this journey, how they met up, because they're all trying to find a place they belong, a place they can call home finally, especially since they all had bad experiences before this. Well, Kalik and Toklo have been through the most out of everyone. I don't care what anyone says. The two of them have been through the most in the series. Kalik a little bit more, because she watches. I mean, they all go through a lot, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't even tell you. But they all go through their fair share. Kalik's my favorite character. She is the perfect mix of fierce and strong, as well as kind and loyal. Well, they're all loyal, but caring as well. And Lusa is more on just the caring side. She does get a little bit of that strength in her from being in the wild, because she wasn't born in the wild like all the other bears. She was born in the bear bowl, which we call zoo. So that's kind of where she grew up until she escapes. So she started out kind of naive, but she is a sweetheart. And then Udrak is really intelligent, and he doesn't really remember where he comes from, so he doesn't even know if he has a family. But he's very intelligent and such a sweetheart too. Cinnamon roll material, definitely, just like Lusa. But he always has all the answers. He knows how to find the signs to tell them which way to go next, and he has he knows how to make herbs to heal wounds whenever they get injured. And then Tokolo is more on the gruff side. I see the difference between him and Kalik is Kalik, after everything she's been through, she still keeps her kind heart, and she doesn't let it change her. But everything Tokolo went through changed him, and he became gruff and mean and cold-hearted and standoffish. But that's not actually who he is. It's just he built this huge wall, and I mean the three of them have to break it down, and they do, and eventually, and they become his family. And so yeah, but yeah, these four characters mean everything to me. And yes, I like some of the ships as well. Kalik and Yukon are my favorites. They are also the ship that shows the most, but it still isn't about the ships. It's about the friendship between the spirits. That's the most important thing about the storyline, about this series, and it's just amazing watching their friendship develop and grow, and them as characters develop and grow and become who they were always meant to become in the first place. And it's just beautiful to read about, to see in your head, see them grow and go on that journey with them, and go on these adventures with them, and it's just amazing, and I love it, and I'm obsessed, and everyone should read it, because it's the best thing in the world. So that is all for this tag. Please like and subscribe, and comment your answers, or do this tag and tag me, and I'll watch it. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads as Secret Books. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.